Just about 5 weeks to go until we see history in the skies all over western New York. Our region sits in the path of totality for the total solar eclipse happening April 8th. More than 1 million people are expected to visit this area just to watch. And amid the solar craze comes the question, where are tourists going to stay? And according to AirBnB, the Empire State is the most booked for the 2024 solar eclipse. The vacation rental property company says that there's nearly a 900% surge in searches on the platform for New York State during the solar eclipse weekend. But as of today, more than 20% of listings on the path of totality are still available to book in the state. Tonight, I spoke with an Airbnb rep about this once-in-a-lifetime event and a woman from Milwaukee who's making the trek to Buffalo, but is using other accommodations amid the frenzy. A celestial trend has taken over Airbnb this spring. Searches for accommodations that will guarantee you a good look at history.
New York is among the most booked states, if not the most booked state, across all of North America on Airbnb for the solar eclipse.
Airbnb North America communications manager Haven Thorne tells me the platform is seeing guests from all over the world flock to Buffalo for the solar weekend. And some superhosts are sweetening the deal for their visitors.
A lot of hosts are offering solar eclipse viewing glasses for their guests.
According to Airbnb, 25% of listings are still available to book in Buffalo. More than 40% of listings are still available to book in Rochester, and 70% of listings are still available to book in Syracuse. Thorne tells me on the path of the solar eclipse, Airbnb listings outnumber hotels for the eclipse by more than 15 to 1. Beyond the solar eclipse weekend, travelers are also taking advantage of what else Western New York has to offer.
In fact, what we're seeing is a surge in searches for outdoor category listings, stays that offer things like an Airstream or camper van or an A-frame.
Hotels are booking up fast, despite how expensive they might be in Western New York. And while Airbnb is one way to go, a retired woman from Milwaukee making the trek to Buffalo has found another option: staying in a hostel.
At a hostel, all my experiences have been, I've been in London and Paris and Florence in hostels, and Madison, Wisconsin in a hostel too, is that people go out for the day, they go exploring, and then they come back, and there's always a common area that everybody sits down and they talk about their experiences that day and they swap ideas.
Sandra Wicker also volunteers at Visit Milwaukee, so she knows firsthand what a tourist can expect when visiting a new city. The self-proclaimed wanderer tells me that her trip to Buffalo began with her sister making plans to go to Texas for the eclipse. She wanted more out of the trip and chose a more northern destination.
And I took a look at a map. Well, where is it going to be going? And I thought, Buffalo. Wait, isn't that where the Darwin Martin house is? And I'm just like, I've always wanted to see that house. And I thought I'd be able to see it in person.
Wicker is a big Frank Lloyd Wright fan. The popular American architect is also a Wisconsin native. It's a trip that has expanded on its own, planting one seed and then another.
But then there's so many other little gems that I've been finding about that are in Buffalo. Some of them are not too far from me. Some of them are in walking distance. I'm going to be learning how to ride the bus there.
And one thing this wanderer hopes to discover in Buffalo are the good neighbors that are so widely talked about across the world. NASA describes the total solar eclipse a once-in-a-lifetime experience because while it occurs every other year or two, it only happens once in the same place every 400 years.